For the best experience, put on headphones and write a comment, where you are from, and what time you are watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I met Cassie for the first time when I entered high school. She was in my art class, where our teacher, Ms. Perez, constantly challenged her. Cassie had talent, but according to Ms. Perez, she lacked motivation. Cassie seemed indifferent to that critique, more absorbed in whatever music was blasting through her earphones than in her art assignments. As we began to talk, I discovered we shared a passion for the same genre of music. I had been playing the piano for a couple of years, and she was taking guitar lessons. Both of us enjoyed dabbling in songwriting, and it didn't take long before we decided to form a band. Just the two of us, but we were young and spent hours dreaming about our big break. Then, something shifted during our sophomore year. Cassie's family had been away for the holidays, and when we reunited in January, I noticed something wasn't quite right. She looked exhausted in a way I had never seen before, her focus drifting. When I asked her about it, she mentioned having trouble sleeping. I pressed her for more details, and she told me about strange dreams where she wandered through vast, empty spaces. They weren't nightmares. She wasn't frightened, but she woke each morning feeling anything but rested. Days passed, and Cassie didn't improve. Each morning, the dark circles under her eyes seemed to deepen, and her attention span grew shorter, except in art class. When she picked up a brush or pencil, she transformed. Watching her work was mesmerizing. She poured herself into each canvas with vigor and precision. Her paintings were like the fusion of Pollock's style and astrophysics, pulling you into an entirely different realm, as if you were a solitary traveler exploring uncharted territories. From shadows and voids emerged lights, worlds, destruction, and silence. I was captivated, as was everyone else, but I couldn't shake my concern. What troubled me most was the expression on her face while painting. When we wrote songs or played guitar, there was always a piece of her joy embedded in the music. But in her paintings, I felt something different. Determination, urgency, and even fear. As we approached our senior year, Cassie received an art scholarship. Her options were limited. Her passion for painting had led to a significant drop in her other grades. I asked if she intended to accept it, but she merely shrugged and replied that it didn't matter. I urged her to pursue it, reminding her of her. For the next week, we shuttled back and forth between school and the warehouse. A few days before graduation, Cassie asked me not to come anymore. She expressed her gratitude for my help, but insisted she needed to finish setting up her pieces alone. "When the rain comes, meet me here," was the last thing she said before we parted ways. I was puzzled by her words. The forecast predicted a sunny week ahead. I didn't question it, but part of me wishes I had. The last few days of school passed, and Cassie didn't show up. During the graduation ceremony, as the principal spoke, the first raindrops began to fall. The sky turned a dark shade of gray, and distant thunder rumbled. The wind picked up, and a few graduates shouted in surprise as their caps flew away. As the rain intensified, we began to move the ceremony indoors. I rose from my seat like everyone else but headed outside, feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. By the time I reached the warehouse, the storm had escalated. The rain lashed against me, almost horizontal due to the wind. Soaked to the skin, I pushed through the door. "Cassie." I called into the dim space, but silence greeted me. In the flickering light from candles arranged in a line, I noticed her path, candles illuminating the way to the story she wanted to tell. As I walked slowly between her paintings, the experience became profound. I had always viewed her art as individual pieces, but now I saw them lined up, revealing a deeper journey. Each canvas felt like a step through an expansive universe. I traveled through solar systems, galaxies, stars, and planets, witnessing worlds collapse and be consumed, only to move on to the next. It was a mixture of awe and dread. As I continued along the path she'd created, a sense of recognition began to wash over me. This was not just a stunning portrayal of the vastness of space. It had a conclusion. The cold sensation crept in as I passed each painting, a growing certainty of what awaited me at the end. I'd arrived at the wall where Cassie's final piece hung, and my heart sank. I wanted to ask, when? But I understood that it would be impossible to wake her. There she was, lying on the floor beneath her painting, as if lost in a deep slumber. I lifted her gently, but it felt as though a great distance separated us. I wondered if she would ever awaken again. Gazing at her artwork, I realized it encapsulated the remnants of destruction that loomed ahead. Cassie had truly captured the essence of the end, and it left an impression that would forever haunt me.